Yo, Willow, I love your channel. Your personality is top notch. How do I get my chest to the next level, and how do I get the inside more swole? The inside chest. So I'm gonna figure that you have been doing your bodybuilding career for a while. So you've been doing, you probably started off with the compound movements that give you the most structure. So you should not be focused on specific details when you begin per se. Because the broad approach and the bench press and the incline bench and the flat bench will give you the best benefits in terms of growing your chest for hypertrophy. However, let's not forget that bodybuilding is a very individual sport. And by that I mean it's kind of selfish. It's really up to you. And sometimes as a personal trainer, the feedback that my client gives me is the most important one. So if I say, do this for your glutes, and he or she does not feel the glutes and says, oh, I'm feeling the hamstrings a little bit more. And sometimes I'm watching it and I'm saying like, but she's doing it right or he's doing it right. So what's missing here? It's very much up to you, up to your genetics, and up to your body composition and the way your body uses that stimuli. So keep in mind that what works for you might not work for somebody else. So what I can give you is a couple of exercises that have made me feel the inside of my chest a little better than the regular pushing exercises like the bench press or the bench press machines. So the first one is pec deck.
And cross the arms, in and back, and take it in.
No, it's not. The first one is the flies. With the flies and using that mind-muscle connection, you can really feel a deep contraction on your inner chest. And do try to vary as much as possible, because sometimes with cables, when you're in this position, you're still forcing the cables inside, whereas with the dumbbells, it's pretty much, you're pretty much resting at this point. So the gravity is working for you. So with the cables, the gravity is always working against you because the cable wants to go back. Okay, so you can really get the most out of your workouts if you vary them with either machines, cables, or dumbbells. The second exercise is, I don't know the name of this one, it's a close bench press, but with the dumbbells gathered together. So you have to do this strength. Once again, you have to keep this tension in order for the dumbbells to cling to each other without, and that way by holding that position, you go low and then you go up, and you're always feeling everything rotating internally into getting that most contraction. I really love this one, and I think you should try it out as well, because you'll probably reap some benefits out of these two exercises. Willow, I'm 6'2" and I weigh 200 pounds presently. These past vacation I lost 15 pounds between boxing, yoga, dancing, and jogging. Wow, are you Jane Fonda? I do work out every day, but still, I have a pain in my lower back as well as my neck. Neck is a bit unavoidable, but the back are starting to get on my nerves. What do you mean unavoidable? It's not unavoidable. It's avoidable. It's avoidable. First thing I'm gonna say to you, you need mobility and you need stability. I did a video on stability from 3 exercises that I consider very important, the big 3, from Dr. Stuart McGill, which is one of the leading experts in back pain. And those exercises are for core stability. The core stability and overall core development in terms of muscle will minimize the pain you feel, especially on your lower back. I will for sure do videos with mobility exercises. And what is mobility? It's range of motion through tension. And you're saying you're doing yoga, but sometimes yoga goes more for the stretching part of it than exactly the strengthening of the components while you're mobilizing yourself or opening up in certain positions. You know what I mean? So from the data, which is very short, from the data that you've given me, I'd say what you really need is to build muscle and to build those particular muscles that will help with your posture. especially your neck as well. Believe me, I see a lot of people with aching necks because they don't really work out the neck very often. It's very underdeveloped for most people, and I think everybody should have some sense of at least do a little bit of resistance training in the neck with a small plate or whatever. But I'll do a video with neck exercises for you guys. So long story short, get some gains. Sup, Willow, could you do a video speaking a little bit about the world of arm wrestling? You know the best arm wrestling scene of all time, right? No, it's not Stallone.
Dylan! You son of a bitch! Get to the chopper! Come on! Kill me! I'm here! Come on!
Anyways, the world of arm wrestling and about those freaky exercises they do to get their strength up to their level. Well, one of my favorite resources is this guy called Devin Lorette, a Canadian superhero of arm wrestling, and he does a lot of these exercises that you're referring to. But let's start from the get-go. I'm actually not very strong in arm wrestling. I think it's a genetic problem, I should say. A lot of people that I know, even skinny people, have a good grip, but my grip is not very strong. You know those people who you're going for a handshake and it's like, dude, you're fucking ripping my arm. Stop that. Yeah, those types of people. Anywho, the idea is that you keep your arm in exactly the same position here, or your elbow can't move, and your whole body can go around it. So you're gonna use your obliques, you're gonna use your glutes, your legs, a lot of things will be used, but I think you're talking about specifically the upper portion of your body. So you have the lats clinging on here, you have a lot of shoulder rotation. If you're losing, you're gonna do external rotation, but what you want is to do an internal rotation. But you should work those in unison. So let's not just focus on what you want, let's focus on the antagonist portion, which is the external rotation as well. See this picture? The late Charles Poliquin, unfortunately died recently, he showed this exercise to a lot of people, and he actually said that if you're as strong in this exercise as 1/10 of your bench press, you'll be good to go. So it's this external rotation, doing 3 seconds of eccentric and then 1 second up. And if you do 1/10 of your bench press max for 8 repetitions of this, will be excellent. So work on that shoulder and the rotator cuff. What else? You should work on isometry, but obviously be aware that your bicep and your forearm has to be very strong. Technique-wise, what you want to do is you want to bring the other person's arm or the other person's hand to you. So you want to open that angle. Open that angle. The more you open the angle, the more you can internally rotate and win the competition. So what you do not want is for the other person to pull you. So if you don't want that, this is a freaky exercise you're talking about probably. So you get on a squat bench and you go all the way down, but using your torso. So you're gonna incline and then bring it back. So if you do this in a gym, everybody will think you're retarded. But it works because you're not letting the dumbbell, and keep in mind you have to use a heavy dumbbell, a heavy ass dumbbell that you wanna wrestle with. So you don't wanna let the dumbbell open that angle of yours. You want to keep the same angle and bring it back. So only your torso will do this. It's like a rocking cradle. Also, other sources will be to follow Devin Lorette himself and Siplinkov, which is a guy who has like hands this big. This big. This is from a guy called Bad Motherfucker. How original. All we got here is people waiting for their problem resolution and not the necessary information. Welcome to my world, bad motherfucker. Follow me. Write your questions on the comments. Oh, and share this shit. Be real strong.